Who needs all this lore stuff? It's time for a beach episode, am I right? Welcome back to Tales of Arise, where we have just learned everything, kind of, I feel like. Crown Contest is a lie. Volrun was still alive, then he was on fire again, but could still be alive, maybe. And we're heading to Rena to solve this problem. Wait, is it this way? Or at least that's the rumor. Can we travel yet? Nope. So something's gonna happen on our way out. Huh, really thought that door was gonna be our exit back there, but guess not. Red woman, clearly a servant of something darker and more nefarious on Rena. At least according to Volrun, because he grabbed her hand and was like, tell your boss back at Rena, I don't take orders, and I don't like being made a fool. We don't know who Law's mother is. You know, fair enough. That's still a factoid that eludes us. Hey. Do you have anything to say about the Red Woman?
I didn't see that coming about Volrun. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
I think they just
They
look like
definitely
they
weren't
put on
Renan or
big
Danon.
armor.
I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Doherly? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volrun, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena. And
You really think they would have
Shion's
answered?
thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renis Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
I mean, for all we know, there's just an endless supply of these red women. Like, they might not be, like, they could just be, like, autonomous fingers of the creature that's clearly causing all this. I feel like it's weird that they're expecting them to talk with how they've been mute at every encounter. Yeah!
Gotta break through! Now you'll learn!
Eagle assault! I'll punch that gun out of your hand!
You've got spirit!
Leave the chargers to me! First strike! Do it! Ridwell!
Frozen?
Hammer!
Bonk!
Surprise!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And pummeling to me! Maximum burst! This one's mine!
This one's mine!
Well, you're gonna have to fight me for it. I already claimed it. I hate how you think you're just because you're the leader of the party, you get to decide who each monster belongs to.
Astral energy!
Say no more!
I'm going to need to
Well, when enemies only have like one hit left of you, come at him.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Did I never check this room back here? Seems like a room where something would be. Hey, fellas. You guys guarding a bunch of rocks?
Gotta break through!
Going in! Dazzling spin!
Look out for my light field, boys. I know you're not gonna like it.
Can't get out of
into the
this!
fray! Searing flame!
You made me...
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf! Back into the
Going in! Smash to pieces!
Stay
back!
Stand back! I'll trip it up.
I'll take you all on!
I didn't know if that would work because I feel like I missed
Flare
every attack.
Demolisher!
Hey, whatever. Free 6k damage, I guess.
I never miss.
Demon Fang!
Dazzling
Double
spin!
Demon Fang!
Here, let me help. Pieces!
First aid.
Now or never.
Radiant.
You picked the wrong fight!
Yeah, stop it.
Spin!
Downfall.
Look
Here's a
out!
healing
Take
arc.
this!
Dazzling
First
spin!
Rising
Smash
Fire!
to pieces!
Swallow Dance!
Going in!
Now you see what I can.
All finish
Here
here
and now.
Astral Storm! Double Demon
Look
Fang!
sharp!
All good things come to an end.
Demon
Dazzling
Fang!
spin! Do it! Elton!
Commander of Heavens!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Phoenix Cyclone's one of the better
Plenty
finishes in
left!
this.
By the power of
But
water.
I honestly
Take
really like
this.
just about all of them.
Dazzling spin!
Rising Falcon!
Burning strike.
Glacial
Dazzle.
spear!
Piercing
Rising
storm.
Falcon! Finish it!
Law! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life.
Lunar
Surprise!
corruption.
On guard!
Lunar blast.
Not today!
Dazzling spin!
Do it.
We did it.
There's always room for improvement.
Give me that red sage. Give me that brass stone. Level 1. Worthless. Thank you, Glorious Freelance, for your raid. Weklom. We just dealt with a big old boss fight. We met the red woman, and we got a bunch of lore. It's been quite a bit. What to give you? Yes. That extra 40 penetration will do us well. Go ahead and give you some more rod. After seeing you play this game, you really want to play it too? Awesome. Happy to hear it. I love the Tales games, and like, this is definitely a change to their usual formula, but I hope that it draws people to them and maybe has them check out some of the older entries too, because I think they're still really fun and worth messing with. But this is definitely a significantly more polished single-player experience for sure than I think any previous game has been. I don't need to fight you. I've already killed your masters. Played Berseria, never finished it. Berserian's good, but it as much as I love them, I will say I think all Tales games maybe suffer a bit of a overstaying their welcome sometimes.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
You keep calling him
Faria,
Doe,
of
like you're
Akir.
still friends.
Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing, so she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So
we
I can
need
see.
that fucking six-pack of yours.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
Not as elite as you.
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree.
Thank goodness we have him
But
right
this
here.
time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Us Renans don't work well without
Forget
an
the
authority
Sovereign.
figure to listen to.
I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep
Shut up, you
Lennigus from
filthy
spiraling
Dan,
out
and
of
we just
control.
forget that they're still racist on
We
this
need to
planet.
stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease. Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust.
Like a lord.
That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lennigus right now?
Lennigus wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then.
I would love if Dohalim becomes the true sovereign. He's been
Avakir,
Mr. I want
you
these
mentioned a
places
few
to
facilities were still online.
live in harmony.
Which ones?
He'd be a good leader. Certainly a better king than Alphen would be.
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
The combat in this game is very different from
Heed me now,
Berseria.
fellow Renans of Lennigus.
That's not what he's wearing.
It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there, it's Lord Dohalim.
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us? I'm very old, I
The
promise.
Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lennigus, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together.
Our sovereign would never talk to us like this. I don't trust him.
If we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope.
The first
I
Star
would be
Wars?
honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Perfectly on cue, Dohalim. Do you think this world had its own conspiracy
Your speech seems to have
theorists who
done
were
the
like, the
trick.
sovereign
Looks
isn't
like the city
real?
won't be descending
It's
into
all a
chaos
trick.
after all.
And
I
now they're
only
being
pray the
proven
relief
right.
will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I
Things
saw
of
in the
this
Forbidden
city
Zone,
suck.
what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy over
I'm
here?
Faria.
Authority, the very foundations of Renan society. How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that. wouldn't you?
Yeah, buddy. Sovereign Dohalim.
You? You can't be serious.
No, I meant Alphen.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return.
Yeah, our Speedo
But
sovereign.
not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
You're gonna be real
But
upset when I bring in my
How
sweeping
else do you
changes.
propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lennigus, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be
Word
judged
on the street
by
is
birthright
Sovereign
or
Dohalim
on the
thinks he's
power
gonna
of their
let Danans
astral
vote in the
but
next
on other
election.
things.
And he's gonna have
More
an
important
election.
Things like, oh, I don't know, Musical talent, for example.
Whoever can play the best fife gets to rule
When
the
I
kingdom.
bumped into you after all those
so I
years,
decreed.
I said you were no different.
The mad sovereign.
But I was
Don't
wrong.
leave. This was a mistake.
Truth is, you were always different.
I mean, just look at what you're wearing.
I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnigan's death. To see a future.
Touch
You
my
go
abs
finish
and
whatever it is
all
you've got
will
to
be
do.
well.
I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegus till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
What? No, I was bullshitting those
Indeed.
people. There's no way I'm staying up
Forgive
here. Are
me.
you kidding?
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegus who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted?
Try not asking how
From this
big
day
this thing
forth,
is. I mean,
I
it
shall
looked like
dedicate
the
myself
moon
to the
from
future
the
inhabitants of this world.
surface of the planet, so I gotta
Though the
assume pretty
memories of the
friggin' big.
departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes.
I
We should be
guess.
heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
Business. Oh. The Renan leader, yes. Getting those max AGs up. What do we got? Easier. Evading wouldn't be bad. Ground dasher. Oh, yeah, that's usually the big final earth move. Cool. Improved healing arts. Not bad. Down damage. Eh. I feel like I could be underestimating the potency of down damage, but I feel like that
Looks
is always
like
one
the
of
people
my
of Lenegus can
least
rest
exciting
easy.
things
I
to
couldn't
see
have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
Do we need anything before we go to... Yeah, I think we're decently stocked up on basically everything. Ranch? Give me them rat pigs. Let's raise more rat pigs. Let's sell our rat pigs. And our dog tags. Platinum dog tags! I hadn't even noticed we were getting that. We'll hold on to 10 rat pig meats in case we need it for cooking. A level 5 awakening would probably be pretty good. So that's what is that? The buff bangle? Yeah. Alright, this is a solid one to have in big group fights. What have we got here? More down damage. Move speed. Okay. What's coup de grace again? Coup de grace, I guess. Increase the damage dealt from arts that consume all AG by 15%. What does that mean? Like if you use your last AG, or are there arts that literally use every AG you have left that I just don't know about? That could be good for a thing that gets stronger the more enemies you defeat, if it's also got a just default bonus of you're even stronger the more enemies there are on the field. This seems like one for Dohalim, to be honest. Did you ever make the accessory you need for Shion's title? No. So we need the Mystic Crest, I think. I don't think we ever got the stuff for it. Yeah, I don't even have the ability to, like, look at it. I feel like it's been a while since we've really made a bunch of accessories, but I don't honestly feel like doing that right now. I feel like we're getting along okay. We can maybe make some curse breakers because we've been having a lot of enemies that curse lately. Yeah, that seems like a good one to have. And here, let's just go ahead and enhance these two. Don't forget that skills can be transferred too. You can stack a lot of these abilities. That's also true. What were the things that I was getting earlier that I was getting level 1s? That was a Brightstones. Have a chance to have 50% AG. I don't. It's not that that's bad. That would be nice, but I don't really care. These cellos are killing it. This is a pretty good track. I think, yeah, I can already transfer skills. I've just never actually looked at it. Sacrificing accessory, you can transfer one bonus skill to a different accessory. However, this can only be done if the accessory to be sacrificed has reached its max level. Okay, so I see. So this one I can send this elemental attack 20. Okay. Huh. Oh wait, no, this is the base one. This is the one that I can transfer something to, I see. It's like for her with Magic Emblem. This one has elemental attack plus 20. Is there a really good elemental attack at? I guess the 20. Oh, but I can't. Okay, I was hoping I could just, like, if there was an empty slot, basically, I would be able to transfer skills. But I've got to get rid of one. I won't worry about it right now. Also, I have been.
I'd like to check their wares if you don't mind.
No, hold on, Dalheem. You're gonna have to wait because I have been recording for a hot second and I have to pee. So be right back, folks. Hang out. And our adventure continues after a brief rest. But okay, you know what? Let's take another peek back at these accessory things. So, all right, 50% element resist plus 4 times 10% resistance of the same element. Got a lot of use out of those. Now I can see that having like a 90% resistance to specific elements. That wouldn't be bad. But okay. I also wanted to enhance this one. So let's go ahead and just start dumping. Oh, wait. That sounds like a way better one for Renwell, I think. What she got now? %, defense 20, wind, and penetration versus... Oh, shoot, that was resistance. I thought that was the magic one. Oops, oh well. We'll steal those for another thing, I'm sure, eventually. Okay, I want to give you... Just made you a buff bangle. You lose some HP, but I'm alright with that. Curse charm. Miss out on a little bit of CP restoration, but whatever. I'm alright with that. Who I want to talk to? You are. We're going to rest and we're going to cook. And I want to heal after battle. But we don't have... Okay, we can't do that one. We have a health up M, I guess. Is S the only other one we have? Looks like it.
This flavor, why, it rivals the cooking of my own chefs in the palace.
Best to max out some low-level accessories to transfer them to more cheaply to the high-level accessories. Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. Still no traveling allowed. So obviously some event is going to take place. There's only one of the highest level abilities I can see myself using, and that's the minus 5% casting time. That sounds pretty good. Is that what the Mystic Crest is? Because I know there's a accessory I don't have yet that Shion gets a title for. Look at him go! Still being a human hose. Hiya! Oh, come on! I always forget how few things I can jump over in this game. Human hose is what they called you back in high school, Glorious Freelance? Well, that's a fun nickname to have, let me tell you. I can only assume it has a good context. Surely no one would call you that as an insult. If they did, they were killed swiftly soon after. Hope I didn't interrupt those people's conversation back there. For some reason that looked like a treasure chest to me. I like that our ship is just parked over here and no one's really done anything about it. We hope.
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
Oh, come on, Dohalim, you're about to be the leader.
How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment, a lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master, that's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight.
Remember him, class?
So he
Zephyr?
also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom.
Have modders let you have Zephyr join your party yet?
So long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave.
Replace Law with
I think
Zephyr.
I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
Political science, there's a classification for active, passive, and positive, negative heads of state. Huh.
thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
Yeah, we found a
You can
decent
say
amount of
that
answers.
again. And now we have more problems to fix too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more
See,
than
they're
enough
just
on our
awkwardly
plates to deal
stand
with
with
as
their
it is.
hands out with
Like
their
figuring out who's really running the
swimming
show on
suits.
Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this, the Red Woman and the Renaissalma. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
I mean, we're all decked out for battle,
So,
obviously.
what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
There's a replace
It's also
Alpha's
entirely
mask with
possible that
Batman's
the first
cowl
thing we're
mod.
going to
Oh,
face
that's
is an
pretty alright.
attack.
If we come across a capital, we should...
When I beat the game, maybe I'll do some mods. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! We've decided we no longer need Lenegis. Anime scene? No. Can't wait for us to find out who this lady was, and like she was just a normal woman that the darkness possessed or something. And multiplied. Well, okay. I was hoping to run back to Dana and maybe try those arena things, but I guess the game has other ideas.
Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
We're on a collision course with Lenegis, oh my god!
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
They're sending us
That's
straight to the
bad, right?
sun.
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
It's a big face in space. Uh-oh. Chat's getting riled up. Something big's gonna happen. Are we gonna blow up Rena? Do we not need this planet anymore? Or is this just finally our first real look at... Okay, yeah. But, like, is Rena just never... Is it just not even a whole planet? When the forces of light and dark clash, Kingdom Hearts will open. It's regrowing the planet. Oh! The crystal blossom. How could something so beautiful be bad, says Renwell. I think this is good.
A flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
I feel like we read that in the library thing.
If that's true,
I mean, maybe not the
do you think the
crystal
people back
flower
on
thing,
Lenegis
but-
are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already?
I mean, I guess
When
they
is
can't
this going to end?
assume we read all the entries.
Flower of Oblivion.
Yeah, are your thorns saying anything? Are they like
With everything
cheering?
that's
Like
happening,
this was
we
exactly
need
what
to
they
get
wanted?
back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here,
Real quick, before this goes on, this has just made an idea spiral in my head of like, I would love the idea of like a Tales game that starts kind of like this one, where there's maybe like, there's another planet or something you're going to. And then like, halfway through it or something, you get your spaceship, it's time for, you use your airship, get to the new world, and then suddenly you're like, the evil force just teleports you to a random place in space. And now the rest of the game is like, all right, we're just going to journey through the stars until we find home. And it's like you hopping from planet to planet. It becomes this big sci-fi adventure.
floating around?
Anyway.
For how long?
I don't believe this.
And then along the
We've
way,
made
you
it
get
all
like
this
alien
way,
party
and
members.
now
Oh
we're
man.
Stuck here?
Be like Mass Effect
We're
meets
watching Dana die
Tales.
before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit
Is that
here
what
and
Star
starve
Ocean
to
is?
death? Lord,
I've
calm
never played
down.
one of those, but I've always told they're similar to
You're
this.
the only one who's
So
worried
it's Star
here.
Ocean 4. Okay, I guess maybe I'll check out that
Right.
game.
Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
I know, Shion! Use your healing arts on the
Now
ship!
what?
That will bring it back online!
The starship, it's back online?
Told you.
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
Oh, that's good. Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
Or whom?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
I'm gonna be kind of sad if I don't have a way back to Dana until like after I beat the game or something, if this is leading to finale stuff. Because I did want to go back and actually try those elemental things that I was getting really stuck on. And like beat that one slime monster for the fishing spot. I have a feeling, yeah, no fast travel here.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Nah, Lolly Knight,
Yeah.
don't tell me.
Our
I'll
planet's
find
really
out when I
not
get
doing
there.
too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies that floated amongst the stars in the heavens.
I like the reveal that the
But to think that
Rena
they
we've
lied
been
to us
seeing
not
is
only
just like
about the
one side of
Sovereign
it, and the other
crown
side is just
contest,
missing. That's
but also
pretty
the
cool.
form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Big Piglet, thank you
Who's
for the
wise
kind
guy
words
that
and the
summoned
bits.
us here?
Someone formidable enough to bring our starship along with us.
They must be here somewhere. Let's find them.
Oh boy, alright. Where are we? I guess let's start and work our way up. Oh. Hold on. If the star of where we're supposed to go is right there, then... Okay. My completionist mindset that anytime I move forward, they might lock what's behind me. I mean, I know they won't in this case, more than likely, but you never can be too sure.
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
Only all the time.
That obvious, huh? I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last.
Smack the mic. Sorry if that made noise.
It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings.
These angles, though.
I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it?
It's like a
I
mama
have this
bird
massive worry off my mind.
watching
I should be jumping up and
babies
down
fly
for
from the
joy,
nest.
right?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally
Yes!
letting go as
Called
her
it!
child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That was not the sound I thought that was going to be.
That's one way to look
But
at
that,
it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind.
uh-oh, this has very similar architecture to Wedge and Other Room.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that?
It's a throne. Yo, are we gonna get aliens?
It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
We used to be purple women when we were good. Then the darkness came and made us red.
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
Hello,
That
Captain
is
America.
correct.
It is me,
It is
Red
unusual
Skull.
for me to have unexpected guests these days.
Oh.
It can talk.
I can also hear, jackass.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
It's also Volrun's voice actor. Huh.
We did not come to this place by choice.
Sounded familiar, but
Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
I will now
What did you do to
atomize
us?
you for our god's needs.
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh, goody. More riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not.
I honestly
maybe
really
our
like
best
that
chance
star
to
ribbon
take it out
in
of
Law's
here.
hair. I almost forgot
Let's
I
at
put
least
it there.
hear it out.
But every time I see him, I like it.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil.
Helganquil.
The red women
new
you encountered
Dayquil,
previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit no longer reaches us here.
So Rena just
Since
has an
my
evil
sudden
great spirit.
separation from the great spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this great spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The great astral spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the great spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it without question throughout the ages.
Okay.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this great spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the
Volron
one
under
that
control?
ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
I like that.
Let's assume that what Hevrek 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets.
We now have free will.
Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's great spirit.
If you knew that, maybe
Rena's
you wouldn't be
astral
so
energy is
dumb.
amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents.
Like a democracy.
So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy.
Well, the Renan
And the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed. And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
So props to you for stopping it.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegus was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Lots of good Rena bits here in the chat. I
Correct.
appreciate you.
A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling's success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
Okay.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrek 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
Kill God! We made it, boys!
I'm sorry, did you just ask this to
It's a
kill
JRPG! They tried to hide it! They put all these action commands!
That you do so, I might add.
What makes
But in
you
the
say
end, we always get there.
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also
I'm just curious to see how you'll do it, but I'd also like to see it happen.
For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean...
Travis, we're all in bikinis because to talk about God, because you can spend channel points to decide what costumes everyone wears. And someone decided today was a beach day.
Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Wait, ask who? The other great spirits?
Others?
Yeah.
Just how many of you are there?
One for each element, baby.
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Phasal.
Oh, the other Helganquil.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
All right, and as to show an example, someone said no more sunglasses, but glasses for everybody. All right, I think, would Alphen be a half frame or a full frame boy? I'm gonna say full frames. Definitely half frame. Full frame. Oh, I didn't realize I could be making custom sets this whole time. Shouldn't let you guys do carte blanche, and instead I should have just made presets that you guys had to pick from. That way I could really control what everyone looked like. You'll keep your glasses, but you'll get more color. Find the others. Are we watching Lost?
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy. That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see
Since
Dana
I've literally met
destroyed.
our god, I can believe in their god.
Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renans? How do they factor into all this?
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevric 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are.
Are we just gonna find out that Renans and Danans are all the same, and this was
for keeping it silent.
This is a nonsense
Or
fight we
perhaps there's
had?
even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on the matter. Let's find out.
Now it's probably when we can go to the other levels. Yep. Like, is it just gonna be... No, they took a bunch of Danans and put them on Lenegis or whatever. No one's ever been able to live on Rena. look at it. Anything in here? Really? Nothing. Because, yeah, thinking about it, like, even all this architecture, this is all, like, the alien space stuff, and that's what all the Renan stuff we've seen has looked like so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the Renan people had nothing to do with any of the technology they were using. Which is also fun.
Who are they?
What is it?
Beach day again already?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
You sound almost like Zephyr.
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
And your
The
model is
Overseer
like
told us to
one of
answer
the
any questions you might have.
dudes we met in
Whatever
one of
you
the
want to
cities,
know,
right?
we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
He has that,
What a weird guy.
Tronoff, you're saying he sounds really familiar.
He must have meant
He's
Hevrek
got that
35
Patrick
when he
Seitz,
mentioned that
like,
overseer.
kind of voice. I don't think it's him, but he's got
And
the,
what
like,
was that about subjects?
I don't know how to
You don't
describe
think he
it,
meant Dana and
but there's
Rena,
a-
do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
It is Patrick
Have you
Seitz?
guys
Oh,
lived up
my
here in
mistake.
Dig Faisal with Hevrek 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
I'm glad that over the last 300
Why are you all
years,
even here in the
human
first
appearance
place?
really hasn't
Originally,
changed.
this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrek 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
Travis,
do
if
you
you don't
mean?
think we're growing
The
bullhorns in
Helgan
400
Quill
years,
have
I
the
don't want to live in the
technology to
reality
cloak
you're dreaming
themselves
of.
around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see
I guess,
one,
yeah.
even if it's right in front of them.
We pulled
Which would
a
explain
human
why
from,
Shion
from
and I failed
400
to
years
notice the
ago
Red
on
Women
Earth to
previously.
today,
Do
and,
they
like, you
employ
know,
an astral art of
clothes
some
and
sort?
culture and everything
I haven't
notwithstanding?
been able to scientifically
They would probably
confirm
not
it for
look
myself,
too different from us.
but from what I understand, the type
Weren't
of
people like
cloaking
shorter
they use is
back
primarily
then or
achieved
something?
through
I feel like
mechanical
I
means.
remember hearing that we
In
got
addition,
taller
they also used
with time.
hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to
Malnutrition
imagine
and
that's
stuff.
how
Yeah, that
Lenegis
makes
is
sense.
still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit?
We've been
If so,
steadily
why aren't
increasing in
Renans
size. When
affected
you
by
say
it
it
in the
like that,
same
it sounds
way?
so much scarier.
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil.
Someday we'll be
so they had
giants.
to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
Also, I have not been paying attention to this lady. I should
You
probably...
act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrek 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Do you guys
Don't
like
you
talk
want
to
to go
Hevrek?
back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold.
They call us the
instead.
Watchers.
Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Is that the last...
Thank you for answering our questions.
whatever their race was called? I honestly thought it was kind of a goofy name the last time I heard it.
Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
Helganquil, yeah.
You mean the Overseer's species?
Oh wait,
I
the fruit
can't
of
say I
Helga.
know much about them.
Well, for
That's
starters,
what I'm
where'd they
thinking.
come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
Oh my god!
Knew it.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
There aren't, but there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language, people of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Let me just
Wait,
repeat that line you just
That
said.
explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries.
They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and...
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
Because it happened like 1,000 years ago, and I don't really care
I
anymore.
guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it.
Ends justifies the means.
Anyway,
is there
the
anyone on Earth who doesn't
Helganquil
believe
are the
that? I
real
mean,
Renans.
Rena? I mean, Dana?
Personally, I
Space?
don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling
I
us
believe
in.
only in cold, hard logic. I don't have feelings, you silly Danans.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
Again, it's not that they didn't exist, it's that they are
Just
the
when I
same.
think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while.
I'm sick of these lore dumps, says Alphen. Oh, you're hiding back here, huh? Didn't think I'd find you.
Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send
Yeah,
such a
that's
large
facts
quantity of
don't care
astral
about your
energy
feelings,
without it becoming
Dan.
sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner! However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied.
That was me.
The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans in Helganquil that day.
Oh, I killed aliens 300 years ago?
For the next
Dope.
plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contests began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new
Girls and their
sovereign had to be
emotions,
made
am
as
I
well.
right, fellas?
It was such tremendously difficult
Wouldn't
work.
it be
its
easier
success
if
was
just
dubious.
machines could
But
give
from the
birth?
look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevrect 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes, and yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
We've been literally waiting for 300 years.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time.
They really
Who knows
don't
what
get how
shape
we
their
do
minds
things
are in.
back on the surface.
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe
Can
and
Renans
take
actually
in, but
use light arts then?
I
Like,
think
is
it's
that-
fair
or
to say that
astral
we
energy?
found the answers we've been looking for.
Is that like?
Does everyone agree?
Does that mean Danans
Agreed.
could also use dark astral
Though
energy?
I'll admit
given
that I
right
never
circumstances?
expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit.
You need a break after
Why
all
don't we
that
all take
lore,
some time
player.
to think things over before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay.
Is this
You
gonna
sure
be
you don't want to
another
be alone
party
right now?
disbands?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
Yep.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds, too.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot.
Whew. Well, that was quite the lore dump. Am I right, buddy? Yeah. Am I distracting you? Don't let me get in your way of your science. Anyway, that's a lot to process. We're gonna think about this, and we're gonna catch you guys on the next adventures within Tales of Arise. I don't really have a name for the series. You know what I mean. Anyway, see you next time.